Last time, we explored the golden era of gaming history. MiDAS games. Cheap shovelware trash you could buy discounted in comparison to any AAA title, designed to leave you feeling disappointed with your entire existence. And that's how I've felt ever since MiDAS touched my childhood many moons ago with this game. Drag Stars on PlayStation 1. On the outside, it looks simple enough. Just a generic racing game. But on the inside is one of the most profoundly awful games I've ever played in my life. Potentially the absolute worst of its kind. And no, that is not an exaggeration, as you're about to find out. When I was a kid, instead of getting chocolate garbage for Easter, on occasion, I'd get to pick out a game or two. Keep in mind, I started late with the PS1, so it was the mid-2000s at this point, and PlayStation games were still all over the shelves. I got 2 games that day, but I can't remember for the life of me what the other one was. And any wonder with this making its mark. This isn't my original copy either. I'm pretty sure that got loaned to a friend and that was the last I saw of it. I was never a big racing fan as a kid, but I had previously enjoyed the Destruction Derby series on PS1, so to 9-year-old me, this just looked like another racing game. Boy, was I wrong. Drag Stars puts you in the driving seat of one of 20 souped up drag races. These cars are all about power. There's no sissy bends or corners, just a mile of hot tarmac to cover as quickly as possible. And that's pretty quick. No sissy corners or bends? Surely that's the entire thrill of racing to begin with, hitting those tight corners perfectly and adjusting to the different terrain. Leave the rest blinking in the smoke of burnt rubber as you become a true drag star. Other new titles available include Air Hockey, Future Racer, GP Challenge, Hybrid, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Legend of Pocahontas. Look, you know a game is going to be bad when half of the box real estate is dedicated to promoting other awful games. But enough exposition and stalling. Let's strap in for this turbocharged extravaganza. Oh, I bet. It opens up with some full motion video of these cars street racing. It keeps cutting back to shots of this weird Asian girl on a bike, like it's Kotobuki Grand Prix or some shit, when one of the cars goes crashing direct into oncoming traffic and fucking dies, I suppose. Great. Really getting me in the mood to race. When we start a new game, we've got a nice selection of 10 different cars to choose from. And already, you can see why we have to do this. That's literally half the advertised number on the back of the case. The one actual selling point this game had is blatantly incorrect. Nice one, guys. Whatever, I honestly don't think it matters. There are no performance stats for any of these, so let's just fucking pick one. We get this monologue talking about the street racing in this city, burning rubber and all that, when this weird anime looking bloke comes up and starts talking. He likes my car and the look of my hair blowing in the wind. He's basically the doorman for Gas Alley. Any newcomers have to beat him in a race to enter. And yes, the city is called Gas Alley. Fun fact, if you drive through Gas Alley, you actually end up in bumfuck nowhere, which is pretty cool. Before we race, however, we need to tune up our vehicle. There are 4 different shops to visit, all home to some of the most horrific characters I've ever seen. They all look like addicts or reanimated corpses. Gas Alley must be a filthy place to live. And the mayor, or whoever this guy is supposed to be that saves our game, he looks like a muppet. But of course, we can't just buy these vehicle upgrades, that'd be too easy. The barrier of entry for vehicle modification in this quarter-mile patch of secluded nothing is answering a question. Do you like dogs? Yes. Uh-huh, I see. We have these items in stock. Like, what the fuck do you care? Get on with it! Finally, once we're ready to race, we still need an explanation on what the rules are. It's a drag race, what is there to explain? You drive in a straight line because corners are for pussies. My younger self didn't know that apparently, otherwise I wouldn't have picked up this worthless fuck in the first place. So, now we get to start the race, and I'm going to be completely serious here. I don't think it looks that bad, and the music fits well enough. The control is stiff as all hell though. I can barely keep the thing on the road. Now, you might be wondering, why does that matter at all? Just accelerate and win, but the problem is, the car naturally steers itself all over. You can really see it here on a long stretch, so when I come in to counteract that to avoid a wall or another car, it's so hard getting back on track. So I win, best of 3, and we even get to see a replay of it. Look at this shot, I can see outside the boundaries of the fucking level! Is it too late to take back what I said about this looking okay? The guy tells me my next opponent is in Bayside, so off we go. We get their life story and now back to tuning up our car. That's really all we do here. Visit stores who can't help us, drive in a line for 30 seconds and advance to the next area. It's the absolute bare basics of what a racing game is. Then night falls, so we go back to Bayside, talk to this Elvis looking dude, or maybe he's a vampire out of The Sims, I don't know. And of course, it's the same track we just did with a night theme. How creative. This is where I remember getting stuck as a kid. No matter how hard I tried, I could not beat this guy. I changed my transmission and other modifications, and even restarted the game several times trying different vehicles. Sometimes I could win one of the 3 races, and other times I couldn't even pass the first opponent. But I don't know why. I can only put it down to the cars, like it's a big game of rock, paper, scissors. Luckily for me though, I beat this guy easy, even crashing into a fucking wall, so the game must go on. Lucky? Yeah, right. It feels kind of special if I'm being honest. This is the first time I've ever seen past that 3rd opponent. And even though I despise this game, I still have that childhood connection with it. Which is why we're going to beat this today. We go back to the first track for a night race when this fucking cretin pops out of the shadows. Well, Type Z28. Fuck, cunt, don't look at me like that. He starts telling me about this big rally event going down the next day. We tune our car and flatten him as usual. I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting out of this. All I know is it's definitely showing all the signs of a MiDAS game. It's got racing, weird anime characters, RPG style dialogue boxes, awful stock graphics and music. There was an alien in the opening FMV, so that's another connection. The only thing we're missing is a reference to Greek mythology. Oh wait. MiDAS touched this one, that's for sure. I only just got done scrubbing shit from every orifice of my PlayStation. Now I'm gonna have to do it all over again. So this is where things take a turn for the worst. I know turning is for sissy bitches, but just listen, okay? Race 5 is impossible. We go to a legal field where the big rally is being held, talk to a guy in a fluffy pink coat, some metal rocker dude and afro guy. I tune up my car, which at this point means finding the one store where I can actually do something, and then just look at this race. Off the line, he fucking dominates me, and I don't know what to do at this point. I can't change car without restarting the entire thing. I've tried every limited combination of tune-ups and still, nothing works. That's the problem with this game. You just get stuck. Same thing happened to me when I was a kid, and as usual, history repeats itself. I've been trying to beat this game for over 10 years now, and I still can't fucking do it. And never in my life have I failed at a game so consistently. This is what I'm talking about the cars being a game of rock, paper, scissors. If you pick a car that is set to lose against any of the other cars in the lineup, you're far past fucked. And with only 10 cars, there aren't a whole lot of compatible options for a complete run. So, I'm done with this. Let's see if anyone else has figured this shit out. I found a Russian dude who actually managed to beat the game. In under 40 minutes as well. With fuck-ups. What is going on here? Having a look at this guy's playthrough, after Afro Guy, this mysterious speed racer challenges us, and wow, he seems difficult. Took our boy here multiple attempts to get by, but once he did, Pink Fluffy Coat Guy comes back for the final race. You're kidding me! What feels like all my life I've been trying to beat this game was all for a measly 7 races? This has to be one of the worst racing games of all time. Well, now that I know which car to use, let's see if we can beat this thing properly. Because I hate myself apparently. Once I get up to Afro Guy, I blast him fair out of the way. Same thing to Speed Racer, and finally, Pink Fluffy Coat Guy. It was just too easy this time. 7 opponents, 2 races to win, at an average of 12.5 seconds per race, 25 seconds to each opponent. 25 times 7 equals 175 seconds, divided by 60 equals 2.91. 2 minutes 55 seconds of total gameplay time. You want my argument for why this is possibly the worst racing game ever? It's right there. Less than 3 minutes to beat the entire thing clean. That's faster than Enter the Dragonfly with glitching through the level. This game was designed to be this short. How is that even possible? Now, of course, the big glaring hole in that little math lesson is that it doesn't include the time for car tuning menus, dialogue, or loading screens. Well, fast forwarding through all the cutscenes we'd already seen, from selecting my car to crossing the finish line of that final race, was just under 22.5 minutes. And honestly, I didn't have a perfect run. I lost 2 rounds against the first and final opponents respectively, so add that extra 25 seconds of time into our equation, it's a little over 3 minutes of actual proper gameplay out of 22.5 minutes in total, which equals less than 15% of the entire game! Drops the fucking mic. Cite Big Rigs or anything else as the worst racing game of all time, at least Big Rigs gameplay takes centre stage. Sure, it doesn't look, sound or run as well as Dragstars, but I can guarantee you will get a lot more game than you will with this. And that is saying something. So, what do you get for beating Dragstars? Well, here's something you probably aren't expecting. You unlock a new car. That's right. Beating the career unlocks a new car, and I can guarantee the other 9 missing cars are unlocked by replaying the story mode over and over again. What a fucking piss take. Drag Stars on PS1 gets 1 out of fucking 10. Well, I hope I've enlightened your outlook on the racing genre and given you a new perspective with this review. As for me, despite my hatred for this game, I feel oddly satisfied now that this chapter on my journey is finally complete. Well, at least one good thing came from today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and share. I'm Square-Eyed Jack, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.